Well, from the city streets to Norwood's police station to City Hall, the Norwood Drug Task Force has become a bit famous in that small city. But to those who deal and use drugs there, the group is now infamous as well, racking up 150 criminal cases a year. A shocking number for a group made up of just 4 police officers. Small in size, no doubt, but not small in their dogged determination.
Without the Drug Task Force here in Norwood, that the city could very easily be overrun with drugs.
Lieutenant Mark Rankin has worked for the Norwood Police Force for more than 20 years. He was born and raised on these streets, too. The same streets where the Drug Task Force is making a vow to the residents it serves.
Eventually, we will drive the majority of the drug problem out of Norwood.
Rankin admits that in recent years, the city has undergone an unfortunate transformation.
There's been a greater increase in the criminal element.
As the force's commander, Rankin works primarily undercover, the reason we're not showing his face. It's an often dangerous and disturbing job.
You see the worst in people.
I want them looking over their shoulder. I want them waiting for us to clamp down on them, because we'll get to them eventually. I don't want them to feel safe. I don't want them to feel warm. I don't want them to have a fuzzy feeling. If they're coming in here to deal drugs, I want them to be really uncomfortable.
Norwood Mayor Thomas Williams doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the walk, or perhaps in his case, walk the beat. He served 30-plus years on Norwood's police department, even for a time as chief. He was also a member of the task force that's been active here since 1986, and you'll find no bigger advocate.
If the drug unit fails, or there's no drug enforcement, it's like if you don't clean up your property, everything else will go down.
On any given day, the Norwood Drug Task Force might receive as many as 20 anonymous calls from people concerned about drugs on the streets. But the type of drugs they're dealing with on an everyday basis might just surprise you.
Heroin, crack, it will always be there. But we've seen an incredible surge of citizens abusing prescription narcotics.
Is that the number one thing you're taking off the streets these days?
That's our number one problem. Pills by far are taking the lead.
These little punks, they're not going to come in here. They're not going to do their little drug dealing and deal in and out of these houses like little rats and running in the corner. Wherever we can pursue them, wherever we can get them, in a legal process, we're going to prosecute them.
When you know you've taken out a drug location and the neighbors come out on their porch and are cheering, clapping. I had a lady once bring us a check, and she said, it's not much, but she says, I want you guys to use this to help your cause.
So are their efforts paying off? Rankin says yes, pointing to just one signature bust that they had.
Over 40 kilos of cocaine was removed from the streets.
In other cases, the task force's reputation seems to be preceding itself.
And we've had quite a few drug dealers who won't sell here because they know we're looking to arrest them. It's much easier on both ends for them to just move out of the city and go somewhere where there's less of a risk of getting caught.
Are we winning? I think we're doing really well. Are we going to back off? No way. No way. We're not backing off.
Rankin tells us of all the disturbing things that he's seen on the Norwood Drug Task Force, those crimes involving children are what impacts him, a family man himself, the most. He says he's seen in his line of work kids sitting next to drug addicts who are shooting up heroin, and even addicts giving their own children drugs. Still, he says the work they are doing is paying off, but that wouldn't be the case without citizens calling in tips. If you have information that can help them, you're encouraged to call the Norwood Drug Task Force line. That is 513-351-4567. Lance Berry, 9 News.